Welcome to this lecture on accounts payable and creating a vendor account group. So if you look at accounts payable, what are accounts payable and what are vendors? Vendors are the parties which provide you with the inventory that you're going to be selling. So any raw materials that come in are going to be provided by your vendors. If you look at account groups, each vendor is going to have a single account inside our accounts payable section. What is the accounts payable section? Say you buy $100 worth of screws from a certain vendor. You have not paid the vendor yet, and this is a common thing, so don't worry. You've not paid the vendor yet, and what you have done is you have placed the transaction inside the vendor's account, which is located inside the accounts payable section, and you have said, hey, vendor ABC, I owe you $100. That's what you do with accounts payable. Once you have the money, or once you have to make the payment, you're going to come in and decrease the amount that's inside the account of vendor ABC, and you're going to also decrease the cash account that you have with which you have paid your vendor. So let's go ahead with that information and define an account group. The account group is a group of vendors that we have. So it's a name that we assign to a certain interval range, and this interval range is going to be referenced by that specific name. Let's come here, let's hit new entries, and the account group we're going to be creating is XYZV for vendors. Here we're going to define the name is going to be XYZ vendors USA LA. If this was a one-time account, meaning that we're creating an account only once, then we would tick it here. Say we get a product from a single vendor and this is the only time we're transacting with them. We don't want to store too much data on them. We can just leave this one-time account ticked. Here are some field status groups, and we've seen field status groups before. Field status group is the way that we can define the settings when we're going to be creating the vendor accounts. So this is going to control the specific settings for our vendor accounts. Let's go to our general data. And here you can see that this is how we can control the address. So we can either require, display, optional, or suppress the name one of the vendor, form of address, all of these things that we want. Let's come back. Here's communication that we can specify. And here are some control groups. So information about how we're going to be controlling how the interactions with our vendors happen and which accountants can do it, which accountants can't do it, and all those aspects can be covered through our field groups. This is going to be entering data about our company code, and this is purchasing data in terms of the amount that we're purchasing and those aspects. We don't need to select any of it. Let's just create our vendor group, and our vendor group was created. This is the vendor group we're going to be adding vendor accounts to, and this vendor group is going to be then associated with our company code. Here what we saw what vendors are. Vendors are parties which provide you with raw materials, and we saw how we can create an account group which is going to refer to a certain account number interval range in which we can assign vendors. All those vendors are going to be called by this account group.